Welcome to a full and complete 10 Shadows guide. I'll be going over everything to do with Megumi, including his base, his ult, some combos, and all of the hidden mechanics in his kit. 10 Shadows, or Megumi, is my personal favourite moveset in the game. It's extremely unique, has crazy combo potential that I never see used, and is much more than a simple rabbit escape spam character that gets around your block very easily. I won't be covering the absolute basics of Jujutsu Shenanigans. I'm going to assume that you know the terminology, the down slam, uppercut, etc. and that you generally know how to play the game before you try Megumi. I'll be going over everything one at a time, but I will not be covering Maharaga in this video. I'll save that for another one because at the time of recording, Maharaga isn't finished and I think he deserves his own video anyway. Starting with the absolute basics of Megumi, he's extremely unique in the fact that he summons Shikigami instead of fighting in a usual battleground sense. His attacks are more separate from him, which allows for a much more diverse playstyle of either passive or aggressive. It's not the best idea to be constantly playing up in people's faces because you are quite squishy and only have 85 HP. As well as your moves having pretty long wind-up animations, you do require quite a bit of setup in order to get things done. Going into Megumi's moveset now, his special is probably the most important part of his moveset. Not only does it give you a massive speed boost in when you activate it, as well as in general being an amazing tool during fights for getting out of situations as well as getting back into fights and applying quite a lot of pressure. While you can be hit out of this state, it's not likely considering you're moving so fast, and you can slip underneath people and try and catch them off guard from behind, as well as you using your Shikigami to force them to block and allow you to slip behind their block and continue your combo. Additionally, if you pick up a trash can or really any throwable in the game and you go into your shadow, you store it and you can pull it out at any time by simply going into the shadow again and M1ing, and you pull it out and you can throw it at any time. There's no downsides to doing this. You can store it for as long as you want, and really the only downside to it is the fact that once you have something stored into your shadow, you can't pick up any more throwables until you throw away the one that you have stored. Megumi's first move is Rabbit Escape, likely the most controversial and annoying move in the game, but probably the most diverse in the way you can use it. The way you activate this move is the same across all of Megumi's moves. It requires the cursor on your screen to be pointing at someone. It has quite forgiving radius, so you don't exactly have to be dead onto them, but you do generally have to be aiming at the person you want your Shikigami to target. So in group settings, you do have to be pretty precise in what you aim at, because otherwise you will send your rabbits or Nue at some poor soul just watching the fight. Rabbit Escape is extremely unique because it has almost no stun, meaning the enemy can block during the attack. This allows Rabbit Escape to be used as a pressure tool, allowing you to close the gap between you and the enemy, which then allows you to either dash around their block for a free combo, or it can be used in other ways. One of these ways is taking advantage of the automatic tracking that the bunnies have. The bunnies will always follow the target, which also means that they will follow them through walls and even in the air. Should an enemy be hit by Rabbit Escape in the air, they'll have no way to get out of it unless they evasive away and hold their block. While Rabbit Escape doesn't have the most damage in the world, hitting them in the air allows you to hit all of it, and any damage is pretty good damage, I'd say. Other than that, you can use it as a basic combo extender by down slamming or uppercutting them and using the rabbits, because by the time that they get up, a majority of the rabbits will have hit them, and either they're forced to take more damage, which extends your combo, or they can try and block, which you can easily dash around because, well, you're right in their face, and it allows you to easily extend your combo further. There is also the very classic cheese that can be used with Rabbit Escape, which involves using Rabbit Escape, then Nue, and then Toad, but the damage on that is so terrible that I wouldn't really suggest doing that, and the only applicable use I can see with that sort of setup is when they're really low, but I really wouldn't say it's worth it for the damage of one Nue and, well, 4 M1s. The only other note I can really add on to Rabbit Escape is that after the rabbits have been summoned, you can still take hits and your rabbits won't disappear. However, if you do get ragdolled, that's when they all despawn and the move will stop entirely. But like every other move, during the hand sign, if you get hit, the move won't come out at all. Moving on to Nue now, this move is completely unblockable and is a pretty damn good move in general. The way it works normally is, without targeting anybody, Nue will fly directly forward and then do a small sweep to the ground. However, when you select the target, Nue will dive towards their position, not the person themselves, meaning Nue can't always track them. However, if you target someone with Nue in the air while using the aerial Toad variant, for example, Nue will track them and will always hit them. This does not mean you should use Nue after you uppercut, because the game still counts them as grounded for some reason, and Nue will fly to where they were in the air and miss them entirely. But Nue is a really good move, and it's especially good for creating distance and combo extenders. Using Nue in conjunction with Toad allows you to pull them back in for more M1s and allowing you to further extend your combo, or can be used to summon Totality and get some more damage in. Nue also has a variant, or kind of, where if you use your special while Nue is being summoned, you can grab onto his foot and fly with him. This doesn't have a lot of application in combat, however outside of combat it allows you to do crazy parkour and you can catch up to almost anybody in conjunction with your regular special. Megumi's special, along with with Nue's special allows you to be the fastest character in the game, meaning you can catch up to anyone who tries to run away from you, with the exception of course of a jackpotted Hikari, but it also allows you to do some pretty cool parkour as well. Nue, along with the rest of Megumi's moves from here on out in his base kit, can be countered, so randomly throwing out Nue in neutral will not be the greatest idea against the Yuji or Hikari, because it will get countered pretty easily due to Nue taking quite a bit of time to actually dive down and hit the target. Nue's special also allows Megumi to invade domains. By simply just using the special, looking at a domain, you can glide straight in. I don't think I need to tell you why this is a pretty dumb idea, because, well, going into any of the domains aside from Hikari's is pretty much a death wish, but it's a mechanic that I have to cover. And one final mechanic with Nue, unlike any of the other Shikigami, no matter when you're hit, whether ragdolled or normally, Nue will never despawn if he's already out. Moving on to Toad now, it's extremely simple, it's just a long-range combo extender. Easy as, doesn't do any sort of damage, but it pulls them back in and lets you do another set of M1s. There is not a lot to cover with this move, simply because it does no damage and its use is extremely self-explanatory, but the main tip I can give with this move is the way I see it misused. A lot of people tend to use 4M1s and try to use the move and it gets blocked every time. Instead, if you either uppercut or down slam, it becomes true every time and there's no way to escape it or block it. However, Toad is the only move in Megumi's base kit that is not omnidirectionally blocked. This means that if someone's facing away from you, even if they're blocking, Toad will still grab them and give you the full combo extension. While this doesn't have much practical application, it's still something to keep in mind when you use the move. Toad also has a very unique variant. During the wind-up of the move, when Megumi is doing his hand sign, you can press 2. This will summon flying Toads. I would not recommend using this in a serious 1v1. I think it's completely pointless. While every move can be used after it, you lose out on M1 damage, which is pretty substantial, and comboing after it becomes even harder. However, outside of combat, it is a pretty funny thing to use, as you can pull people up to places that they wouldn't usually be able to get to. Now onto Megumi's undeniably best move in his kit, Totality. This move is absolutely incredible for multiple reasons. However, its main appeal is that it can act completely independently without any sort of wind-up after it's summoned. What this means is that after you have Totality summoned, he will stick by your side forever and his cooldown will start resetting even while he's still out. Totality can be used at almost any time, meaning you can use it while running, using your special, or using other moves, as well as covering your approach once you dash in with either your front dash or your special. The most common way people try and use Totality is as a combo finisher. After landing all their moves, they try and chase the enemy down while swiping away with Totality. While this can be done and is a true combo, I wouldn't recommend it. The main reason I wouldn't recommend this is because Jujutsu Shenanigans is a weird map with weird geometry, and sending them far away makes it even harder to catch up to them than it already is. The odd map layout can really mess up your aim on top of the already really close timing that Totality has with 3 swipes in a row. I just wouldn't recommend it, as there's so many more ways you can use the move that are so much more efficient and that can get more damage. But I think Totality's main appeal is that it can move stack. You can make Totality attack and summon another Shikigami at the same time. This unlocks Megumi's real combo potential, because with an M1 uppercut and using Totality at just the right time as well as summoning Rabbit Escape, you can get some insane damage. While the move stack can be escaped with a ragdoll cancel, it allows for Rabbit Escape to be used in combos that don't involve dashing around a block. Not needing to dash around a block removes the entire threat of Magi Kick as a whole, as well as Hikari's counter. And you get artificial bonus points for having the coolest looking combo in the server. As much as I love Totality and its use, it does have some drawbacks. For example, it can't be used if you're being hit or if you're blocking. Furthermore, it won't despawn if you're hit, but if you get ragdolled, Totality will disappear, so you are vulnerable to long-range ragdolling attacks such as Blue, for example. But if you couldn't tell, Totality is my favourite move in the game because the insane combo potential Megumi has is never ever explored, and this one move unlocks all of it. I really implore you to go into a private server and make some crazy combos with Totality. But with Megumi's base kit completed, we can now move on to Megumi's surprisingly simple ultimate, Insanity. Megumi's ultimate is quite unique in the sense that it's probably the sneakiest ultimate you can activate in the game. The wind-up is similar to all the other characters, but the key difference is that it produces no sound whatsoever, as well as having no visual indicator after you've activated it. This doesn't have the most use in the game, but it is something to keep in mind and you can catch some people off guard. Additionally, Megumi's ultimate kit is the only ultimate kit in the game where you can switch back to your base seamlessly at any time. By simply pressing the same button you did to activate the ultimate, you can switch back to your base, but the only trade-off for this is that it takes 10% of your ult bar every time you switch. Megumi's ultimate kit on its own seems quite lackluster. 3 moves that, when used all at the same time, can't kill someone is unlike any of the other ultimates. While the other ultimates in the game are more of a transformation, where the character gets completely new abilities, I would argue Megumi's ult should be used more like an extension. You get 3 brand new moves that can be used with your base kit, and thus you should use the ultimate similarly to how you would play in base. In a 1v1 against other ultimates, you're pretty damn weak, but you do have Maharaga, which is essentially a boss fight in your back pocket, so I'd say that's a pretty good trade-off. Your first move is Max Elephant, a pretty strong move that deals a good chunk of HP and is pretty simple in how it works. It works identically to Nue, where on its own it will land in front of you, but if you target someone it will target their position. This move does hefty damage but is pretty hard to land because of its targeting system and how it's extremely loud on wind-up. However, this is where switching back to your base comes into play, as if you combine it with something like Rabbit Escape, it becomes almost guaranteed every single time. The move also has quite a lot of hit stun, which allows you to use another ultimate move or even another move from your base kit to continue your combo. Another property to Max Elephant is that it will not stop falling until it finds stable ground to stand on. Max Elephant is completely unaffected by buildings as he'll fall straight through them and even through the roads above Shinjuku Station. If the fight is looking desperate, you can use this mechanic to create huge distance between you and the enemy, potentially sending them underground or through an entire building and forcing them to come and catch up to you. The next move is Great Serpent, and this move is extremely unique and is probably Megumi's best move in his ultimate. After a short jump, Great Serpent catches you in his mouth and allows you to control him omnidirectionally. You can move up, down, anywhere, and can use this to catch as many people as you want. Once caught in Great Serpent's mouth, enemies will start to receive a poison damage that lingers over time. Without catching anyone, it will last a flat 2 seconds. The sooner you catch someone, the longer Great Serpent will last. If you catch them immediately, it will last a full 5 seconds. This can be even as short as only adding 0.1 seconds if you catch them right as Great Serpent ends. You can easily set up Great Serpent by just M1ing 4 times and then activating the move. Similar to all of Megumi's other ultimate moves, all of them are unblockable, so you don't have to worry about any sort of blocking interrupting you. The main reason you'd want this full 5 seconds is the longer they're in Great Serpent's mouth, the more poison they'll receive and the more damage they'll take. A common misconception with Great Serpent is it lasts longer the more people you pick up. This isn't true and is only dependent on the first person you grab. Everyone else does not affect Great Serpent's timing. But Great Serpent's best feature is it's the only move in the game that after being ragdolled you cannot use your ragdoll cancel out of. This allows for all sorts of really stupid combos that you can get away with that you really shouldn't be able to. I'll be playing some on screen now that I've been messing around with, but you can do literally anything with this move. It combos into every single move in your kit, and I mean all of them, including Maharaga. Great Serpent is your best tool in your ultimate kit for making the longest lasting combos as well as the most highly damaging. Using Great Serpent allows you to easily get a 100-0 combo on any character in the game. And I know it is a strategy that's looked down upon, but Great Serpent is also your best tool for running away if you need to. If there's an ultimate chasing you down and you know you can't face it, you can use Great Serpent to either get up to a high place that they can't reach, or you can try and catch them and use the extra time to put them in a disadvantageous situation. However, Great Serpent can be cancelled even while you're still using it if you're simply hit at all, whether it by a projectile, a punch, or even the cursed energy blast you get when you're being teamed on. Anything with any sort of stun will cancel the move, so you can use it in Sukuna's domain just fine. Anything else in the game though will cancel it. Speaking of domains though, Great Serpent can be used to push people into other people's domains. You stay out of it just fine and it will damage the domain quite a bit, but you push everyone in and I think that's pretty fun. Great Serpent can also be used to throw people off of the map. It passes right through destructible blocks, so you can gather as many people as you want and go straight through the wall surrounding the map and fling people off. You receive no penalty for this, as the amount of ultimate bar you had when you died in the void will stay once you respawn. While this isn't the best counter for ultimates, as they also keep their ult bar, this is the perfect counter for Maharagas. When a Maharaga goes into the void, the Megumi respawns with no ult bar, meaning if you take one off the map, you'll put a Megumi right back in their base and they'll have no ultimate to go off of while you get to keep all of yours. I do have a small feeling this might get changed, as it is a total counter to Maharaga and seems quite unfair at the moment, as you can just fling him off the map and there's nothing he can do about it. And finally, the final move I'll be covering is Shadow Swarm. This move is sort of a 2-in-1 move, as it has one function and one sort of hidden gimmick that you can take advantage of. On its own, you summon 2 clones of yourself after a pretty long wind up and you dash forward for about 2 seconds. You can fully control yourself and anyone you touch will immediately get beaten down and jumped and then knocked away. It does knock them away a fair distance, but it can be turned into a combo extender if you simply switch back to Toad and then pull them back in for more M1 damage, which can be used to flow into other moves. Although its main use is to simply close the gap between you and the opponent and guarantee a quick and easy combo, as the move move is unblockable and you do move pretty rapidly, but that's it with the move. That's all I need to talk about because the move is just that simple. You run forward and you catch people and you beat them up. But the move does have a secondary function which is infinitely more fun to do. Upon walking up to another person's domain, if you use Shadow Swarm, you activate your own domain called Chimera Shadow Garden, and this can be used to invade domains and help other people either get in or get back out of domains. If you open the portal traditionally as anyone would from the side, you will automatically slide into it. However, you can open the portal from any direction in the domain. This can mean you can open it from the top and allow no one else to get back out, or you could open it from the bottom and allow people in but with no way to escape back out and you stay outside the domain yourself. This is because opening a domain from the bottom summons the portal below the floor in the domain, so people automatically come in but they have zero way of escaping back out. And that's another thing, people can leave domains with this. You can't, however. Once you open the portal, you're stuck in that domain and you have no way of leaving. You can't open portals from the inside of domains, so once you're in, there's no way of getting back out until it ends. Another big part of the move is that it will slowly kill you over time. You can press the move again to close the portal early, but it will automatically close once you're almost dead. Opening a portal into Sukuna's domain makes this absolute suicide, as you are guaranteed to die almost immediately, as the portal slowly killing you as well as Sukuna's domain doing the same, results in you losing so much of your HP so fast. This means saving people from Sukuna's domain is just as unlikely, as seeing the portal, which is the same color as the domain's walls, through all the slashes is pretty difficult unless you explicitly type in chat for people to get out. Saving people from Mahito's domain is a bit more likely, but the Mahito will run straight towards you and it's guaranteed you're going to die by his hands regardless. And saving people from Gojo's domain is impossible. Once you open the portal, you're stuck there. Nobody gets to move and you essentially let the Gojo get another free kill on you. I kind of wish that opening the portal let people move a tiny bit, at least somewhat, so they could move towards the portal and maybe escape it, as the only way to truly escape Infinite Void is if you're using an emote that slowly carries you forward. But in all of my time in playing Megumi and constantly trying to save people from domains, I have never once seen anybody leave a domain in this way. I've tried many a time, but it never works. So opening a portal to Gojo's domain right now is completely pointless and is a complete waste of your ultimate, because you don't even save anybody and you just get yourself killed. And opening a portal into Hakari's domain is fine. You can bring a bunch of people in and potentially even jump the Hakari, and the Hakari himself can even leave the domain and get a jackpot from outside of the domain. Pretty funny thing to do, but again, like majority of things, it's not practical for your advantage and just serves to add a bit of comedy to the game. If I had to make a suggestion for this move, I would suggest that opening a portal to a domain removes the sure hit effect, so people can move in Gojo's domain and the constant slashes in Sukuna's stops entirely. I wouldn't say it should do anything to Mahito's domain, maybe slow the effect down a little bit, but I don't think it should be nerfed that hard because Gojo's and Sukuna's are the most lethal domains in the game, and if you get caught in them, you're pretty much guaranteed dead anyway, so I think it would be better if Megumi's domain served a purpose in allowing people to escape from it. Additionally, I would suggest that once you close the portal, it stays for a bit of a second so you can also get back out if you really need to. In the anime, he does try and get himself out as well, so he's clearly capable of doing it, but TCE decided to not let you escape, which I think should be changed. But that is it. That is everything to do with Megumi. On screen now, I've probably got some combos playing that you can watch along with and follow, but for now, the video is mostly over. You can watch or click off or whatever you want to do. I'm just going to talk a little bit. This video was a hell of a lot of fun to make. I had quite a lot of fun testing all the moves and really finding out everything there is to do with Megumi. He is my favourite character by far, and I can't wait for him to be released to the public for free and everyone gets to try the 10 Shadows character. This was quite fun to get back into editing, as I haven't done video editing in years at this point. I've taken quite a long break, and recently coming out of college, it's been quite a refreshing thing to finally do something that I truly enjoy again. I'll likely make a Mahoraga video eventually, although if I am honest, I do not enjoy Mahoraga that much. I much do prefer Megumi's base and his ultimate kit combined together, where you have to think quite strategically in what you want to do and the lots of button inputs you have to do to use this character. Holy moly, by the way, this character really breaks your fingers sometimes and you can mess up quite easily. Megumi requires quite a few button inputs and that's why I love him. He's so complex and diverse in what he can do that it just makes it so much fun to use once you know how to use him effectively. I do have to give a huge thank you to some of my friends who helped me make this video. My good friend Salmon, he recorded that entire intro sequence. He showed me all of his fancy camera work and he did all of that by himself. I have to massively thank him for the very cool intro and allowing me to do some editing practice to refresh my mind on this godforsaken program that is DaVinci Resolve. Additionally, my good friend Pon on screen as well. They helped me with domain testing. Very cool of them. Thank you very much. Even though they had 0 kills and they had no idea what they were doing, they were still willing to help. So thank you very much. And thank you, of course, for watching the video. I will maybe make more, but I don't have any plans at the moment. Probably other Battlegrounds content, not too sure though. I was thinking of doing other Battlegrounds games, but for now, Jujutsu Shenanigans is probably the one I enjoy most, and Megumi is the character I enjoy most, so I'm going to enjoy that, potentially until I, well, stop enjoying it. But thank you very much for watching. My throat is very, very tired after recording this much, after this long of a break. Very not used to it, but I've had a lot of fun. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.